My name's Khadijah Cooper, and I do a multitude of things. So I'd like to say for my full-time job, I work at a nonprofit that focuses on adolescent sexual health, which is such a passion of mine. And then for my fun time, I say I'm a stand-up comedian, and then there's lots of stuff that branches from me being able to do that. Who is Khadijah? That is such a good question. I think first and foremost, I'm just like a bubbly person. I lead with passion. And I feel really fortunate that I have a life where I get to do all the things that I'm passionate about. Who else am I? I'm a mother, I'm a friend. I care for people deeply until I don't, and then and then I'm like, protect your peace. I'm on social media like, yeah, protect your peace and do all of that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like a person that like lives by the motto, like start even though it might be raggedy and you only got one shot at this, so like give it all you got, like life.
Uh-oh! Here's the straight. Sorry. But I'm a black woman, so I feel like I still win. We still can relate. Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History. Yes, I love that energy. Nobody loves Black History Month more than white lesbians. Thank you. I love you so much. My Venmo's K Cooper Comedy.
So my mom is also a stand-up comedian, so I grew up watching her like on stage and making people laugh, and I felt like it was such a gift that like you could give to people, like. And I remember seeing my mom at Popito's, like doing a show or open mic or something, and I was in the way back. I also want to say this was the 90s, so like it was okay. Like I had my chips and my salsa, so I was like, this is the best Tuesday ever. And just watching my mom, I just remember it so vividly of like, oh my God, my mom is famous and she has this like superpower to make people laugh, which felt like something I only seen people on TV do up until that point. I was just like, that is amazing. I want to do that.
I recently had to get a new car. I was one of those people that drove my car till the wheels fell off, and it did literally on 94. The wheel just popped up. I was like, oh, maybe it's time for a new one. And my car was like 12 years old, but before I got my new car, I had about a week gap, so I had to get a rental car. And they gave me a 2024 rental car, and I was like, okay, this is brand new, and I got in that car, and I sat in that car for about 15 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot of time, but it is when you're trying to figure out how to put it in drive. Like, have you ever been in a situation, be like, I'm a smart person, I can figure this out, I can do this. That was that moment. And this car had all the bells and whistles. I wasn't used to it, so I had to take a 3-hour road trip. So as I'm driving, if somebody got too close to me, boop, a little notification would be like, somebody's close to you, be careful, just be aware. And I was like, all right. I tried to merge, and a little notification was like, beep, beep, beep. It's not safe to merge. Okay, now it's safe to merge. Go ahead. And then every 45 minutes, a little notification would come up on the dash and would say, consider taking a break. And I was like, oh my God. This car cares about me more than every man I've ever dated.
I used to do like my mom did cable access TV way back when I was in middle school at Northwest Community Television, and we would go on Saturdays, and I would just like tinker around. Again, it was just like this moment of like, this is how TV's made. Like, you don't have the concept of what cable access is. You're like, this is amazing. And so my mom had a friend, Beverly, that had a cable access show. I really don't remember what the show was about, but I know that she had stand-up on it. And she's like, do you want to do it? And I was like, okay, I have to come up with a stage name. So my stage name was Kiki Cooper. I don't know why. I was 13 at the time, and I just like got on stage and I like told jokes, and then years later she sent me like a little clip of that video.
Introduce somebody who hasn't been on stage before because she's just too darn young to get in the bars. So making her comedy debut tonight, put your hands together please for Miss Kiki Cooper.
Yeah, my name's Kiki. And I'm only 13, and being 13 comes, I have a parent. Now, good childhood, mostly. You know, my mom is very embarrassing.
I always say this, is that my daughter saved my life. So when I was pregnant and had my daughter, I had to make a decision to be better. You know, I think people who have parents, is like, oh, I want to do better than my parents did. I want to provide something. And so I just really like focused on that. I went to college, I got a degree, I got a job, I really hustled and grind, and my mom helped me out tremendously at this time in my life. And I just wanted to provide the most fruitful life for my daughter as possible, and activities and all of the things that she wanted. And so I worked really hard at that for her whole life. And I think for me, the biggest lesson that my daughter taught me was patience, and like you have to change. When you know better, you have to do better. Yeah, she definitely uses it as a flex. I remember in high school, like she didn't come see me. She wasn't really interested in comedy, because when I started comedy, she was 14. So we all know what's happening at 14. They hate us, like we're not cool anymore. I went from the smartest, the prettiest, the best to like the enemy overnight, when she turned 14. And so, for a long time she was just like uninterested. She was like, yeah, go do your little thing. I'm 14 now. I'm gonna play my video games and do whatever, right? But I think as she got older, it became her fun fact in school. She definitely uses that as a flex. Like her friends would come over, because we were definitely that house in high school where like they came to my house and like they're like, oh, I saw your clip on YouTube, and I was like, please don't watch my YouTube clips. You're 14. I don't like it. You're 16 or whatever. But yeah. So, and then I think over the years I've like conned her into doing sometimes. She did a little bit on my birthday show years ago, like a quick little 3 minutes. So that was really fun. And I don't know, I think now that she's getting older, she's almost 22, I think she's kind of like, oh, I kind of want to get back into theater, because she was a theater kid. Like she was in plays all through middle school and high school. So and then she became an adult and she was like, okay, that's done. So I did a show with Sarah McPack in Bemidji, and we stayed at a hotel. So the next morning, as I'm leaving, I see her having breakfast. So we sat and we like had a chat, and we're just talking about comedy, like you do. Like, what are your next move? Like, what are you wanting to do? And then she just said, Khadijah, you'd be a really good talk show host. And I was like, what? I never thought about it before. I knew that I loved interviewing people, and I knew that I have the curiosity and nosiness of people, that I love asking them questions about themselves, right? And I love learning lessons from other people, because everybody has such a beautiful story. But I never thought I would be a talk show host. So she's like, yeah, you'd be a really good talk show host. And I was like, yeah, but how do you do a talk? Like, do I record it on my phone? Like, what are we doing? So I went on the website for SPEAK Minneapolis. I like signed up for the orientation just to see what it was about, see if it was something that, felt doable for me, because I have no productionist. Like, I don't know anything about putting a show together, nothing. I can barely edit the clips on my social media for 30 seconds, so I was like, okay, let's see. And I was like, oh, I could do this. Like, I just did it. I was just like, just be brave, be bold, just do it. So I did. And so I signed up for some classes. Before I knew it, I was booking studio time, getting guests, and just like, I always just building the plane as I fly it. So that's kind of like how the show came about. I always say, like, we become adults, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, you have to be serious all the time, and like childlike joy is not for adults. And I'm like, yeah, it is, and comedy is proof of that. I want to teach a comedy class. Are people going to want to get taught comedy by me? I don't know. I'm going to do it anyway and see what happens. Can I sell any tickets for a weekend headlining? I don't know. I'm going to try and see what happens. Can I do a talk show? I don't know. I really want to. I'm going to do it and see what happens. Yeah, so I guess the biggest lesson that I would say is, fuck what they think, do you? I'm doing it, y'all. I got my own talk show. Woo!
Do it again.
Oh. Did you like that one better?
It's getting better.
Okay, that's honest. I appreciate that.